So I wasn't going to make a video about the truck, but as some of you have seen, it's changed. I've done some things to it, and I ran across some problems that I couldn't really find the answer to on YouTube. So I figured I'd make a real quick video explaining some things for people that may want to do this to a cab and chassis truck. I know there's one of you out there that might be looking into doing this, and you have a cab and chassis truck very similar to this one. So I thought I'd make this video to make it a little bit more helpful. So you guys have already known what I've done to it. She's breathing easier. So I did the throttle valve delete, EGR valve, bye-bye. That's like a $40 kit for this. That was like 13 bucks off of eBay. The cab and chassis are different than the pickups with the way the EGR is. This is where your coolant, I assume, comes out of the EGR cooler. You got to cap that off. There's another cap that comes with it, because there's a hose that comes up through here from down under and goes into the kind of the bottom of the EGR cooler. To cap that off, it is under the manifold, like right in here, kind of behind the turbo. So you have to take the fender well off to get to it, because it's right about straight in there. And if you can get the tire off, that'll help even more, because it takes a lot of force to pull that hose out. I couldn't get my tire off that night, and I was fit to be tied, let me tell you, working on this thing. You need to drain your coolant out pretty low. I drained about 4 gallons out, and if you don't know, the drain cock is down on this side of the radiator right above the intercooler tube. You got to take the grill off, and there's a little flappy piece. You can get to it real easy. I took a hose and stuffed up on it, which it's real hard to get on there because you got to go from underneath. Stuff a hose up there and it won't make a mess all over everything, and you can reuse your coolant if you don't get dirt in it. I don't know what size the little nipple is on it. It's probably 1/4 to 3/8 inch. If you can get a hose on there, get it on there and leave it on there. Leave it down to where it, if you ever have to drain it again, you won't make a mess. So the main thing that's different with the cab and chassis, I'll say it again, is the EGR cooler and how it disconnects. And there was no information on the cab and chassis on YouTube. I found them online, but like I said, you got to block this one off, and you got to block the one off below. It goes into a freeze plug, and that's the one that I wasn't sure about, because I thought you just blocked the hose off up here, but you don't. Now you also see this little filter here, and maybe that plug right there. That's the CCV bypass. Your engine has a CCV filter right here. That's the crankcase ventilation. Basically, the blow-by tube, as most people would call it, is run down into the turbo. And when I took that off, it was kind of greasy. So there is stuff making its way down there. I need to do this, the filter delete, where you got the filter and all that, and I'll put a catch can and stuff on here, but for now I just have this as the bypass. Now people are saying that if you do get some pressure, it'll start coming out of here and you'll get it all over your engine bay. So hopefully we'll get that changed before that happens, and get the catch can and stuff put in there. Also, cab and chassis are different with the way the exhaust is. I had to take this to a shop to get the exhaust done. The kit I bought was not right. I bought a kit that said it would fit 2500, 3500, 4500, and 5500. Well, my truck, being such a long wheelbase, had a 2-foot spacer pipe between the DPF and the SRC, or SCR, I believe is what it is. It's back here. On a pickup truck, and maybe some cab and chassis, I'm not 100% sure, but in my case it wasn't this way. You'll get, if you order just the delete pipes, you'll get the one for the DPF up here that bolts to the downpipe, and then you'll get another piece that goes onto that that has a slight angle in it. That slight angle is supposed to connect in front of the axle somewhere. On the cabin chassis, let me get under here, maybe you can see, but you see that clamp up there? When it comes out of the SRC, it goes up, and my kit was not designed for that. And the only pipe that I could find, and you could go this route if you wanted to, the pipe that I found bolted where the spacer piece, it bolted to that 2-foot spacer piece and then went in there. It was $350, and I only found like one place that had those. Then you'd have to get another piece that will bolt on to the downpipe there, and that would bolt into that spacer, and then you wouldn't have to take it to an exhaust shop. I used that front piece out of the kit, and I'm not sure if this pipe is from the other piece in that kit or not. It looks like it is, and he just cut the bend out of it and then welded this on. But it was like $195 for the kit that I bought, and then I had $150 in him finishing it, which would be basically from this joint to there is really all he had to do. So just be mindful about the exhaust kit. It is different, but I kept all the exhaust stock except for, you know, where we took out the good stuff. I probably will change the downpipe at some point, but not anytime soon. It goes to a like a flat oval right here after it comes down. It's 4-inch. It's not super noisy. You hardly notice it in the cab. You guys have some of the driving footage there. I have the tune from Optimal Welding out of Canada. He has a YouTube channel. If you have a Dodge truck, I would recommend going there. I contacted a bunch of other companies and nobody got back to me, so I know it's getting tricky to find stuff to do this now, but I went with Optimal Welding, and he sent, let's see, where did I put it? It's in my pocket. I went with the EFI Live Auto Cal thing. He has a Easy Link kit, but that was more expensive. All I wanted to do, I'm not looking for power, I'm not looking for drag racing ability or black smoke, I'm not looking for any of that. I wanted a simple delete with a little bit of extra horsepower. These cabin chassis are detuned from a factory pickup truck, like 50 horsepower and 175 foot-pounds of torque, I think, is what I heard. And I heard this has the Aisin in it. I heard the Aisins don't like a lot of power, so I didn't want to be feeding her juice. So I told him he has a optimized stock tune that's like 20 horse. I told him I was looking for like 50 horse, and I just went with one tune. His regular tuning option, you get one tune, because I didn't want to be flipping. And you know, if I have the option for 210 horse, I'm going to try it at least once, and that's probably when things are going to grenade. So I said just one tune. He gave me a tow tune. It's 60 plus horsepower. It does have some black smoke, as you guys seen. It's not real bad. The torque converter, he's got the torque converter lockup in 3rd gear, I think, 2nd or 3rd gear. He got rid of some of the limiters on the truck. No speed limiter now. The cruise control works at a lower range. The exhaust brake works at a lower range. He got rid of the stuff that would put the truck in limp mode. So trying to think if there's anything else that I can think offhand of. If you read his tunes, it tells you what he does. He changes shift points and all kinds of stuff. But I heard the Aisin is a self-learning transmission. They say the Allisons are self-learning, and I kind of noticed when I first was running it, it seemed to shift kind of funny, and it's kind of smoothed out now, and that's what a lot of people I was reading about with when they get the switch to change on the fly, their transmission can never learn because they're always changing the tunes. So I just wanted simple. I wanted the truck to breathe easy and be more dependable. So that's what we went with. Hope that helps you guys out. I can't think of anything else I want to talk about. I just wanted to show you guys what's different about the cab and chassis, because I found one video, it was on a 5500, but the guy had the video all chopped up, and right when he was getting ready to talk about that, the video ended. So they pretty much delete like any other truck. There's just a few things. So if you want to watch a delete video, there's thousands of them out there. I didn't want to make one. It would have been a complete disaster, because I was out here on a Saturday night trying to get this thing going. No, it was Friday night. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't get the wheel off. I dropped my socket in the antifreeze. That was giving me problems. It was a total disaster. So it would not have been a good video. But me telling you what I know now, it would have been easier. I flashed the tune on. It took about 10 minutes. Connect your truck to 12 volts. So that way it's good to go. Don't touch anything while it's loading the tune in. That went smooth. I think it took about 10 minutes for that to flash. I think 45 minutes after that I had the exhaust off. It come off super smooth. The kit that I bought did not have a gasket in it. I probably don't need it with it being a straight through exhaust, but I went ahead. It was $10 at AutoZone. I put a gasket on it. I rigged it up to work till I could get it to the exhaust shop, and then I tackled the EGR and everything. I did this side over here first. It's a little tricky. There's 4 bolts for this. It was a little tricky getting the boot off. There's a bolt right here for the crossover pipe. That's kind of a pain to get to. You got to take the upper radiator hose out of the way, and it's a little tricky. Just have patience. You'll get her done. I got some other upgrades we're going to do here in the future. Fuel filter, we're going to change it over to run cat fuel filters because it's way cheaper. I think it's a good investment. You get 2 or 3 micron filter. They're cheaper, they're easier to change. Goes right in place of the stock filter. I got to be careful though, because the water separator filter is different where it's at on a cab and chassis truck with the tank at the back. I'm going to put in a lower thermostat in it. It's got like 200 degree thermostat, I think is what I've been reading in it. I'm going to change it to 190 or 180. You can get a metal radiator hose. I might go to that, and eventually maybe we'll get a different intake horn, but I'm not too worried about that. I mainly want to do the coolant and the fuel just to make it better. And I want to get a like an Edge Insight, so that way I can watch what the truck's doing and everything. I don't have to flip back and forth on the computer screen. This truck has way more boost now. The gauge maxes out at 35. I get it up to 33 if I'm really romping on it. I don't try to beat on it too much, but you know, it's like a new truck to me, so we got to test out its limits here and there, but I don't beat on it that hard. I'm getting a little bit better fuel mileage. The day I deleted it, it was at 9.9, and that was just back and forth driving. I reset it when I drove it up to the exhaust shop. I'm getting pretty steady at the 13 average. It dips down into 12, it goes up to 14. I haven't really highway driven it. I think I've put maybe 200 miles on it since it's been deleted. We pulled that home with it. I was getting 12.8 miles to the gallon, pulling that at 35 miles an hour for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's not too bad. I didn't have to worry about the truck not getting enough heat in it to clog stuff up or nothing like that. So it's well worth the money. If you guys didn't know, it was going to put me on limp mode. That's the only reason I did this. A while back, it was under warranty. It put me in limp mode. It would come and go, the limp mode warning would, and it was a sensor going bad. Some days the sensor would work, some days it wouldn't. Well, it gave me the C dealer now thing, and I think you have that for 50 miles, and then it goes to the 150 mile countdown. Well, I was at like 130 miles when I parked it, and the day I got the kit and I pulled it around from one side of the barn to the other, all the warnings and the check engine light went away. But I figured if I was going to spend the money to fix the truck, I was going to fix it right instead of taking it to the dealer, have them, you know, do their $1,000 fix or whatever. I don't know what it needed. It could have been a bad sensor. It could have been something else. It could have needed a regen. It could have had bad def in it. You know, who knows? It don't tell you. There's no way for it to tell you other than to take it to a shop. So, roughly, I had like $820 in the tune with the AutoCal. The exhaust, like I said, it was $195 for the kit that I bought that didn't work right, plus $150 for the exhaust shop to finish the job. He welded hangers in because the hangers didn't fit right. The EGR cooler and valve delete was like 40 bucks. I bought that off eBay. It wasn't nothing special. I didn't buy a $200 kit because all it is block off plates and some plugs. I mean, it's hard for a Chinaman to screw that up. And if it was, you could take it somewhere and have it done, you know, machined or whatever. That was like 15 bucks off eBay. I actually thought I ordered everything off Wish, which my buddies laughed at me, like, you're ordering delete parts off Wish? Like, they're block off plates and a straight through piece. You can't mess those up. But it was like 15 bucks and 40 bucks, and then the CCV bypass was 16 bucks. So you add that all up, let's see, 1,000, another 150, another 100, what, 1,300 bucks? Somewhere in there, probably all I got in it. So that ain't too bad. If it would have cost me $1,000 to get it fixed or whatever, oh well, I won't have to worry about it now. And I am noticing that I got a lot of oil coming around there. Apparently this just sits on here and the filter actually seals against the bottom half of this, so I wonder if that seal's going bad. I don't know. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them the best I can. I'm not a diesel freak. I don't, like I said, I'm not in it for power. I'm in it for fuel mileage and reliability. Black clouds of smoke I don't care for. That's wasted fuel. Like I said, this is a little bit more smokier than I wanted it, but as long as it works good, I'm not going to complain too much. So anyways, there's a little video on the truck. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. So for those of you with cab and chassis trucks, they're a little bit different than a pickup. One other thing, I probably will remove the DEF tank. That's the only thing that I haven't taken off. So anyways, that's it. We will catch you guys on the next one.